everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you just after the full-time whistle at Anfield, where Arsenal have been beaten 3-1 by Liverpool. Obviously, as you can tell, I'm not at Anfield. Been watching it on that TV behind me. As I said in my video earlier today, only one person per organisation gets in because of the limited amounts in the press box these days in the COVID era, and so our Liverpool guy Neil was up there covering it for us on Merseyside, so I watched it from home, and yeah, disappointing result in the end for Arsenal, 3-1, especially after taking the lead for Alexander Lacazette's goal in the first half. But I mean, in truth, I think we were all expecting it was going to be a very, very difficult night up at Anfield, as it always is for Arsenal. I haven't won there since 2012, and that's how it proved. I mean, Liverpool were very, very good. They are very good. They're the champions, the runaway champions. We all know that they're just better than Arsenal at the moment. They're so far ahead of Arsenal in terms of their development and where Arsenal are now and trying to evolve under Arteta, and that gap was pretty clear tonight. Mikel Arteta said before the game that Liverpool are on a different level, and you could see that golfing class tonight. Liverpool were really, really good. In the first half, they were exceptional. The pressing was off the charts. The intensity they played with, Arsenal just couldn't handle it. They tried to stick with them as much as they could. They even got themselves in front in pretty much it was their first shot of the game. Really good breakaway. It was the only time they managed to beat the press. As we've seen with Arsenal playing on that counter-attack, they did it, finally beat the press, and they scored a big slice of luck about it because the move was really good. But by the time it got to Ainsley Maitland-Niles, his final ball was poor. Andy Robertson should have cleared it. He didn't. He sliced it, and Lacazette, it ball fell to Lacazette, and he sort of scuffed it in for his third goal of this season. And you think, well, Arsenal have got themselves in front. Can they hold on to this like they did in the Community Shield? Well, it was 1-1, but you know what I mean. And last season at the Emirates as well. Wasn't the case because they conceded an equaliser within a couple of minutes, and Mane tapping in after Salah had sort of skinned Kieran Tierney really, and Leno had pushed out the shot and Mane tapped it in, and then Robertson made up for his mistake soon after by making it 2-1, and at that point it was always going to be tough. Once Liverpool got in front, Arsenal it was going to be a really difficult night for them. They improved in the second half. Danny Ceballos came on. I thought he made a big difference. Probably should have started. Well, he should have started. He made a big difference, set up a golden opportunity for Alexander Lacazette, one-on-one, which he missed. And that was the key moment. You score that 20 minutes ago, you got to make it 2-2. You can just fight for your lives to come home with a point. He didn't. He missed it, and then Liverpool went and snatched the winner right at the end with Jota scoring up soon after coming on as a substitute. There were definitely still positives to take for that. I mean, Liverpool, as I said, they were far above Arsenal in most aspects of the game, but Arsenal did improve in the second half. They stuck at it against such a good Liverpool team, and had Lacazette not missed that chance, they could have got been going back to London with a point. So it's a tough one really to sum up. We just know that Liverpool are better than Arsenal at the moment, so it's tough. I don't want to criticise them too much. They were sloppy at times, but when you're playing against a team that put you under that amount of pressure and we're playing with that much intensity, it's so tough not to make a mistake. And we saw Arsenal did make some errors, and they were punished. So I'm going to go through my player ratings anyway. We'll start with Bernd Leno in goal. Probably should have done better with Mane's goal. It was a decent shot from Salah, but Leno pushed it out into dangerous area. Could have done better. Gary Neville on commentary on Sky said he could have done better, and I think he could have done. Roy Keane as well had a bit of a dig at him. Every mistake's going to be exasperated at the moment with Emi Martinez playing well over at Aston Villa. So disappointing really for Leno there. I'm going to give Leno I'm going to give him a 6. I'm not going to absolutely hammer him for it, but and he made a couple of decent stops as well, so I'll give Leno a 6. Kieran Tierney, difficult night for Tierney. Salah caused him all sorts of problems, got absolutely done for the first goal, stuck at it, performed a bit better in the second half, but still a tough night. I'm going to give Tierney a 5. I'll give Luiz a 5 as well. Poor defensive header from Luiz for the third goal, headed out into a dangerous area. Good finish from Jota, but Luiz should have been clearing it into a less dangerous area. Rob Holding, his passing was really poor. He was dallying on the ball. He got robbed time and time again. It was a difficult night for Rob Holding. I'm going to give Rob Holding a 4. No, I'm going to give him a 5. I think 4 is a little bit too harsh. I'm going to give Holding a 5. Xhaka substituted surprisingly in the second half. Maybe certainly surprised some people on social media that Xhaka got hooked and El Neni stayed on when Ceballos came on, but Xhaka wasn't great in terms of his passing wasn't great. It wasn't up to usual standard. Gave the ball away a fair amount, so I wasn't too surprised that he got hooked and El Neni stayed on. I'm going to give Xhaka 5. Elneny, I actually thought Elneny played all right. He got a bit of grief on social media, I think, just because it's Mohamed Elneny, but I thought he played all right. I mean, I think, what was his stats? I'm looking at him here. He made 33 passes, 31 of them successful at 93.9%. That's the best of anyone who started the game for Arsenal. He didn't give the ball away very much. He was pretty neat and tidy, and I thought he did all right. I'm going to give him a 6. Maitland-Niles and Bellerin with the fullbacks. Bellerin 2 foul throws in the game. Not good enough, that. It's really just poor. And Maitland-Niles, I thought, struggled a little bit. He's been good, Maitland-Niles, recently, playing on the left. But I didn't think he had that good a game tonight. It was pretty poor in possession. You're kind of looking at that and thought, if Saka had played, maybe it'd have provided more of a threat and more of a support for the forwards. So I'll give both of those 2 5s. Willian, I thought, was really poor. Didn't do anything, really. Barely got himself in the game. Made one good clearance in a sort of good tracking back and cleared a dangerous moment towards the end of the first half, but that was only after he'd totally let Robertson go for the second goal, and he got hooked in the second half. I'm going to give Willian a 4. Lacazette's a tough one because he didn't really do anything all game. He scored his goal, but it was a scuffed shot. But that miss was so crucial, and it was just a poor effort straight at Alisson, and he just wasn't really in the game. Lacazette, I'm going to give him a 4 as well. And to be honest, for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, just barely got involved at all. I think he had 19 passes, only 8 of them successful. Just wasn't really in the game at all. For me, I'm going to give Auba a 4 as well. Just couldn't get in the game. I mean, he was stuck out on the left-hand side. As you expect, you want him in the central area where Lacazette had that chance, so I don't want to criticise him too much. But all of the forwards, for me, get a 4. And the substitutes that come on, it's tough to mark many of them, but I'm going to give Ceballos a 6. I thought he was Arsenal's best player, pretty much. He only played about half an hour. But as soon as he came on, it was his pass that set up the goal for the chance for Lacazette. And he should have started. He definitely should have started for me. He just added a little bit of quality that Arsenal were desperately lacking in that midfield area. So I'm going to give him a 6. And then Nketiah, I can only really give a 5. He wasn't really involved. And Pepe, although he's not on for long, I'm giving Pepe a 4 just because he had 2 dreadful corners in the last 10 minutes when Arsenal finally had an opportunity to flood the box. And Pepe was on both corners and he wasted both of them. Didn't even beat the first man. Just really poor from Pepe. Must have been infuriating for the Arsenal players who were in the box waiting for the set piece, and infuriating for Mikel Arteta. So Pepe gets a 4. So that's my player ratings and post-match review of tonight's 3-1 defeat for Arsenal at Anfield. Thanks for joining me, everyone, and I'll be back again tomorrow, probably reacting with a little bit more to tonight's game and speaking about what Mikel Arteta had to say in his post-match press conference.